All right, Chapter 4, Operator Maintenance Instructions. TM 3805261110, Grader GC 1 G or GS 130. For the maintenance, check server the introduction, PMCS, introduction. To ensure the machine was ready for the operation at all times, it must be inspected for the regular basis. If the defects may be found with the correct with before the result of the severe damage, equipment failure, injured personnel, work package 00131300 containing the systematic instruction, inspection, lubrication, adjustment, the correction performed by the operator with the keep of your equipment in good operation condition, ready for the primary mission. Explanation for the table, entry for the item number, the column, name of the column, the reference, complete for the DA form 2404 or DA form 59AE, equipment inspection maintenance worksheet, but they include the item, the number of the check server, the indication from the fault, the items, the numbers also appear in order to perform check server in the interval listed. The interval column, the column tells you the must perform with the procedure column. A, before the procedure must be done immediately before you operate the machine. D, B, during the machine must be while the operating on the machine. C, after the procedure must be done immediately after the operated machine. C, D, weekly procedure must be done once a week. E, monthly must be once each month. Man hours column. The column indicates the man hours required to complete the prescribed lubrication. Serve the location item. Check with the service column. The column provided with the location item to be checked with the service. Note the warning of the cautions appearing with the preventive maintenance service table. There must also be to observe the warnings and cautions appear before the application procedure. They must observe the warning to prevent the serious injury or injure yourself or the others. Caution to prevent the equipment from being damaged. The procedural column. The column the procedure with the must be performed. Know if the column equipment is ready with the available intent of the mission of the operation. They must perform the procedure with the time stay with the interval comma. No, not fully commission capable. If the column tells you what the faults with the keep of the equipment being capable for mission with the primary mission to perform the checks for the procedure with the show the fault listed within this column. The equipment is not mission capable, follow standard operating procedure for the maintain the equipment of the reporting equipment failure with the general preventive maintenance check services. Also the perform the preventive maintenance check services in the same order with experience that you should identify the problems easily with the machine that does not perform as required. Refer to the approximate troubleshooting the work package 001000. Anything that looks wrong, like you can't fix it. Writing the DA form 2404 or DA form 59AAE. If you find something seriously wrong, immediately report it to the supervisor before performing the preventive maintenance. Read all the checks and require the applicable interval. Prepare everything you need to make the checks. For example, you also need a brag item 15 work package 002200 or 2. All right, general preventive maintenance procedure for the house. Warning: solve the cleaning contain the mill PFR 680 with the type 3 with the environmental complaint with low technical material. However, they're irritating the eyes and skin with you to protect the goggles and gloves that well ventilated with the air with keep it away from the open flame. Serve the source of the ignition. Failure to do so may cause injury or death of the person. Keep it clean. The dirt, grease, and debris will get in the way with the cover of the serious problem. The cleaning of the work is use the solvent cleaning compound on all metal surfaces. Use the detergent item 4 and water the cleaning of the rubber, the plastic. Services. Warning: when servicing the machine, perform the maintenance, dispose of the materials of the for the engine coolant, hydraulic and fluid, lubricant, battery, acid, batteries, and CAR, CPA. Solve the unit local hazard of the water. Dispose of each concerned with the safety officer for the regulatory difference. Guidance. If they have further information needed, with the contact with the environmental hotline 1-800-872-8845. The following with the warning may result with injury to personal hazard, waste disposal. Ensure the slip hill cleaned up with the disposal of the corners of the local policy and ordinance. Rust corrosion. The check of the metal with the rust and corrosion of the bare metal with the corrosion. Exists with the clean and apply with the light with the lubricating oil with the report with the supervisor, bolt nuts and screw with the code check with the bolt nuts and screw with the obvious solution. The maintenance intent bent with a broken condition. You can be tried with them with all tool lock with the chip paint with the bare with the metal with the rust around the bolt heads. If you find one of the things to loose and tighten it, welds loose. Look for loose and chip paint with the rust with gaps with the parts of the weld. If you find a bad weld, report it with the supervisor. Electrical wires are connected. Look for correct or broken insulator of their wires. The loose of the broken connection with the tight loose with the connectors. Ensure the wires in good condition. Hoses and fluid lines with the look for wear damages and signs of leak. Ensure the clamps and fittings are wet with wet spots indicate the leak. For the stand around the fitting of the connector, but they also mean the leak that comes from the loose fitting of the connector with the tighten into something with the broken and worn out. Reported to the supervisor. Fluid leakage, if necessary, you know how the fluid leakage affects the status of the machine. The following layer is definition of the type of the class of leakage, but you do not fail not to be able to determine the status of the machine. Learn to add and familiar with them, and then remember when to notify the supervisor. Caution: operator is allowed operation is allowable with the class 1 and class 2 leakage without any doubt. Notify the supervisor of the SOR with the operator with the class 2 class leaks. Check the leak level of the fluid frequently with the class 3 leaks must be reported immediately. The supervisor failed to do so will result in the damage of the machine with the components. Shall preventive maintenance checks with us continue to note notify Unified the maintenance of any of the leaks of the operator cannot fix. The class 1 leakage definition of the preventive maintenance checks with the class 1 leakage indicates wetness discoloration not creating enough form of the drop. Class 2 leakage is great enough for the form drops but not enough for the cover the drops or drip of the item being checked in inspection. Class 3 leaks great enough for the form drips over the fall into the being checked with the inspection. General lubrication no. Lubrication instructions contained with the preventive maintenance checks with the mandatory overall view of the lubrication point with the located at the end of the work packet to refer to the paragraph the field manual N9207 and with the lubricating and the Arctic operation would include the preventive maintenance checks of lubrication services performed by the operator. Lubrication intervals are based for the normal operation. Lubricator must be controlled with the use of the level less during the interactive first period. Using correct lubricating with the shears. Seasonal temperature expected. For equipment, the manufacturer's warranty with the hard time intervals of valve with the short interval of the lubrication known that it's contaminated if the operation is under diverse condition longer than usual operating hours, extend with the idling periods extending to extreme dust. Keep all the lubricants environmental storage within containers stored in a clean, dry place with the extreme heat with the keep the contained covers clean and do not allow dust or dirt with the foreign materials to mix with the lubricant. Keep the lubricant equipment clean, ready for the use to clean the top of the container before opening. Warning: solvent cleaning compound military PRF 680 type 3 with the environmental complaint with a halotoxic material. However, there may be irritating to the eyes and skin. Protective gloves and goggles will use in well ventilated areas. Keep the way from the flames and other significant illumination. Addition failure to do so may cover the injury or death of the personnel. The cleaning around with lubrication with the parts with the solvent cleaning compound, other equivalent before lubricating the equipment. Keep all the external parts with all of the equipment and not requiring the lubricating of the free lubricating wipe off the excessive lubrication with accumulation form material. Maintain a record of lubrication performed and report any of the problems during the note of lubrication. Refer to the DAPAM 738 and 750 to 750 on the forms of procedure to record and report any of the findings. All right, on lubricants authorized by the operator listed within key. The OEHCO lubricating oil ice tactical has no engine crankcase of 5 gallons, C chart A, transmission differential housing for 21 gallon refill capacity, C chart B, for expected temperatures, tandem drive in the house with 17 gallons, C chart B, hydraulic system 18 gallons, C chart G, GO, lubricating oil, nothing, circle drive housing 2 gallons, all temperatures, hitch, steering linkage, all temperatures, earth moving equipment, all temperatures, engine radiator 10 gallons, system capacity, all temperature, fuel tank 75 gallons, all temperatures. Chart A shows your expected temperatures. Transmission. Chart B transmission differential, tandem differential, expected temperatures. Chart C hydraulic reservoir, expected temperatures. All right, general lubrication procedures continue. The following lube points are served with the daily and the weekly dash lines indicate that the indicational items on both sides. All right, axle oscillation bearings, the line bearings, kingpin bearings, wheel leaning bearings on the, both sides, upper articulation pivot and lower articulation pivot, your hydraulic system pivot, and your cylinder lines, lean bearings, and draw bearing socket and cylinder pivot bearings with both sides of the front mounted scaffers. Note the following 2 points are serviced monthly. Your brake lift cylinders on both sides, center lift cylinder, tandem drive housing on both sides, transmission differential housing, and fan bearing. That's the end of work package for the lubrication. Preventive maintenance check services. All right, let's read this. Review all the warning conflict notes before the preventive maintenance check for the operator with the machine. Performed all the preventive maintenance checks if you are assigned with the operator, but not have the operator with the machine sent for the last week checks. You're over operating with the machine for the first time unless otherwise indicated. The preventive maintenance checks with the machine on the level of the ground, breaking the parking brake apply with the transmission in the neutral, blade lower to the ground, and with a block the engine shut down. If the leak is detected during the preventive maintenance check, over the investigation required to determine the location caused the leak. Walk around the machine, look for the obvious leak for the damage during the walk around. Visually check for the tires for the inflation damage of the debris. Left side and the rear. Before overall, check the left front side of the machine and for the evidence for leakage or damage. Class 3 leaks or damage for the repair of the operation for the evidence. Before the lights, before the lights. Check the left front with the left front work light, headlight, right turn. Check the blackout and left missing damaged components. Missing damaged component for the necessary for the mission. Also on the left side and the rear. Before below the operator compartment. Check the hose and cable connection before left side of the operator compartment of the damaged leak. Check for class 3's damage for the repair of the operation. All right. 4. Before the one tenth of an hour hydraulic reserve oil level check. Visually check with the hydraulic tank of the hose of the fitting of the damages and leaks. Check level 3 break evidence. Check for the hydraulic oil level is inside the maintain oil level between the add and full marks. If the oil is required, clean all the air around the fill cap of the tube. Remove the cap and the add fill items 11 to 14 as is necessary. Install the fill cap securely. The fill cap and the hydraulic sight glass. All right. 4 out of 5. Before the air pre-cleaner. Warning: if the NBC exposure is suspected, personal wear protective equipment should be handle all the air clearing area, cleaning the NBC after the NBC, and see how appropriate handle the disposal procedure. NBC contaminated filters can be handled with adequate precaution. Must be operated with the trained personnel. Check the clean and pre-cleaner sauce screen. All right, item number 6 interval before, location item, the left engine compartment, the release of the retainer, open left side of the engine compartment access door. B, check the left engine compartment with the evidence fluid leakage, such as the oil coolant level. The class 3 fuel leaks, oil leak is evident, and engine any coolant leak is evident. Check the left rear engine compartment, the damage of missing drive with mismanaged leaking the hoses. 7 before the tenth of an hour engine oil level check. Clean engine area around the engine dipstick with the fill cap. Move the dipstick clean with the reinstall. Move the dipstick. Check with the oil level. The dipstick level that should be indicated with the engine stopped. Oil level the whole side of the dipstick. Maintain the level in the safe range of the dipstick and oil the item 10, 11, 12, and 14 as required through the filler openings. Reinstall the filler cap. Is 8 before primary and secondary air filters. Loosen both eye bolts. Remove the air filter cover. The missing of the damaged air filter components. Make sure the primary and secondary air filters are present. Install the cover tightening all eye bolts. Choose the left side of the engine compartment and access door. This shows the side of the door, the access door with the eye bolts, engine oil filter cap, engine oil dipstick. All right, item number 9 before left battery compartment. Then remove the compartment and access label. Check the following items. Check the left side of the battery filler caps. If the battery is equipped with the filler caps, battery holding damage is missing parts. Battery filler caps and holding down not fully mission capable of the battery filler caps holding down missing or damage. Check for the looser damage cable. Check cable to the looser missing damage. Check for the damage or missing battery cable grommets. This shows the battery hold down the battery cable and the battery terminals of the grommet. Before the NATO's NATO receptacle. Ensure the NATO slave receptacle is installed. 11 before fuel tank filler cap. The warning: do not smoke with the permit any of the open fuel of the air of the machine which for the servicing the fuel with the V hose. Be sure the hose of the nozzle is grounded against the filler tube during the refueling to prevent static electricity. Have the filler follow the warning may cover the injury to the personnel. Equipment damage operating with the personnel must wear fuel resistant gloves for handling of fuels. Expel the fuel and properly wash expel the skin and chain with the fuel soaked clothes. Ensure the fuel lips the level of the dipstick screen the missing of the fuel tank with the filler cap. The fuel levels are present. Show the fuel tank filler cap and slave receptacle. 12 before the radiator. Warning: do not serve the cooling system unless the engine has been allowed to cool down. Using the pressurized cooling system to escape the steam with the hot cooling and surface radiator. Not remove the cooling system of the radiator cap of the engine is hot. Allow the engine to cool down. Lotion the cap of the first lap with all the prep of the cooling system. Then remove the cap of the failure to follow this warning. May cause serious burns. Wear effective glove and skin protection from the handling of the coolants. The failure to do so may cause personal injury. Cause injury to the person. Open the cap to remove the cooling system with the pressure cap. Maintain the coolant level between the upper level and lower marks inside of the filler neck with the necessary add the 50-50 mixture of the antifreeze and water. Fuel and coolant mark. The low coolant mark. Figured item 13 before below the engine compartment. Check the air tank for the line for the valve. The damage missed part. The damage for that would cause aberration in the evidence. Check the bolt for the air tank for the valve. Valves ensure they are closed. 14 before rear of the machine. Check the damage of the rear blackout light and tail of the turn light and turn light side and signal lights rear work light. Damage the work and repair of the operation evidence. Check the radiator grill, the backup, the alarm, towing pin of the debris of the damage. Damage the wood and repair of the operation evidence. Check the under the engagement of the evidence fluid leaks such as the oil, coolant, the fuel, and hydraulic leaks. Check the class 3 fuel, oil, hydraulic leaks and evidence. Any coolant level is evident. D. Check the machine with the obvious damage with the impaired operation. Damage the wood impaired operation is evident. Check the rear support and the brackets mounted with the rear pump with the damage and missing of the components. If evident, missing damage if required is for the mission. All right, your right side front. Before the battery component compartment, remove the right side battery compartment. Exit the lid. Check the following. Check the right side with the battery filler caps. If the battery is equipped with the filler caps, battery hold down with the damage, missing parts. Battery filler cap with the hold down, missing of the damage. Check the loosening battery cables, all loosening of the damage. Check for the damage or missing in the battery cable grommets. R16 before, right engine for the compartment. The check for the right engine for the compartment. The damage of the ignition for the drive of the belt. Damage for the leaking of the coolant hose of the mission. Damage the component of the right release release for the retainer for the open both right side of the engine compartment. Class 3 fuel leaks. All leaks are evident. Any leak is evident. Check the engine coolant level. The evidence for fuel is leak is such as an oil coolant level or fuel. 17 before, below the operator compartment. Check hose and connection below the right side of the operator compartment. The damage for leaks, shots for leak, reef damage for the would impair the operation. Check the cable for fraying or damage. Check the fuse box for the missing fuse. The damage corrosion. Missing the damage components as required for the mission. 17, 18 before lights. Check for the right and for the right front with the LED lights. Black out with the drive lights front with the turn signal light with the missing of the damaged components. Missing of damaged components. Depth there for the mission. 19 before front of the machine. Check for the cab. Check the front of the towing pin with the missing of the damaged components. The damaged mission components if required for this mission. Cab interior before the operating seat and seat belt. Check the seat with the seat belt with the damage of the proper operation. Ensure the adjustment can be made with the seat and locks in place. Seat belt, the damage date on the belt is more than 3 years old, then say it will not be adjustable in place. Location, 21 before, electrical monitoring system panel, the test switch on and off engine. Turn the battery disconnect switch on and leave the engine off. They have to move the engine panel switch, test switch on and check the following. All indicators should be on. If any indicators are off, master fault light should be on. The master light falls off. And the fault alarm should be off, and if the fault alarm is on. The EM panel, the EMS panel test switch. All right, 22 before the electric monitoring panel system test switch off and test switch off and the engine off. Move the EM panel switch for the off to check the following. Check the cooling temperature for the indicator should be off. If it is on, the engine oil pressure indicator should be on. If it's off, the brake air pressure indicator should be on. If it's off, hydraulic oil temperature should be off. If the hydraulic oil pressure is on, alternator indicator should be on. Instead of not off, steering indicator should be on, not off. Master fault light should be off, but if it is on, fault alarm should be off, and the fault alarm is on. Before the EMS panel test switch off and engine on. So the engine use the start engine procedure with the work package 000500. When the engine running, check for the following. All indicators should be off. And is not mission capable if they're on. Master fault light should be off if it's not mission capable if it's on. Fault alarm should be off if it's not mission capable if it's on. Before the EMS panel testing switch on and engine on. The engine running with the EMS test panel check the following. All indicators should be on if the not mission capable of off. The master fault light should be on and not mission capable of off. Fault alarm should be on. Fault alarm mission capable is off. Before EMS panel blade float is equipped, the blades must be lowered before turning on the blade float. The switch, the failure flowing. Following this may result in injury. The injury move of the blade. The float switch on. The bloat flow indicator should be on. The not mission capable bloat flow indicator is off. All right, 26 before the EMS panel supplemental steering. The caution: do not hold the supplemental steering switch in the manual position for more than 2 seconds. Move the switch in the manual position. Indicator light should go on. Machine steer normally. Not mission capable of supplemental steering. Indicators are off and steering is poor. 27. The EMS panel differential lock. Move the switch for the unlocked position. Indicator light should go off. The differential lock and it is not mission capable if it is on. The show the EMS panel supplemental steering switch, differential lock switch. Before the hydraulic controls. Before functional test of all the hydraulic system blade lift over the center shift and the blade slide the center circle drive and the blade tilt with the wheel lean and the scaffer. Check for not mission capable class 3 leaks oil with evident with the hydraulic system functioning does not map the functioning. 29 before steering wheel and column. Check the steering wheel and the column for damage or proper operation. Not mission capable of the damage would impair the operation of the evident. 30 review and mirror and side view mirrors. Check with the adjusting review of the mirror with the assistant. Check with the adjusting of the view mirrors if equipped. 31 before lights. Check the operation of the light surface with the blackout lights, brake lights, and the turn signal and work lights. Not mission capable if any lights do not function required mission. For the mission. Before the wipers and washers, if equipped to operate all the washers and wipers and washers verify the correct operation. Wipers and washers not operate with required for the mission. Before the gauge, check for the air pressure, oil temperature, hour meter gauge for the indication of the normal range. Not mission capable gauge indicates more than normal range. All right, 34. Before extinguisher, fire extinguisher. Visually check the missing of the damaged fire extinguisher and ensure that it's securely stowed in the mounting bracket. The fire, if the damage capable of the fire extinguisher, the damage of the damage. Check with the gauge for the reading of the green area of the gauge pressure. Gauge needle. If the damage capable, if it's in the red, check with the damage of the missing seal. See if it's broken. It's not mission capable. Inspect the extinguisher inspection tag. If the inspection if the tag is mission, if the tag is mission, not mission capable. 35. Before marking backup alarm of the horn, verify the backup alarm function when the transmission has been reversed. Check for the no metric cable. The backup alarm does not function. Check for the operation of the horn. This showed the transmission differential filler cup, the transmission differential dipstick. This is now read. Item 36 before the transmission differential oil level while the engine is low idle. Check the transmission oil level to maintain level of operating range for the dipstick. B, if the oil level is low, add oil in items 10, 11, and 14, 11, 12, and 14 through the filler opening. Reinstall the filler. Do not overfill the cap. 37. During the item, check the pedals. The procedure: check the accelerator pedal, decelerator pedal, serve the brake pedal with the transmission modulator pedal for binding and obstruction. Not mission capable of the pedal binds, does not operate properly. 38. Brakes. During. Check procedure: during the serve of the brakes for the pulling and gravity reduced brake capacity. Not mission capable of brakes, pull, grab, do not operate properly. All right. 39. During steel. Steering. Check the smoothing and control steering without pulling and the drifting. Not much capable of steering is erratic. 40. During the drivetrain. Monitoring the grade operation, unusual noise, vibration, the engine, transmission, drive shaft, axles, wheels. Notify the unit maintenance and unusual noise present. 41. During the blade and scraper. Monitor the blade and scraper operation for unusual noise and vibration. 42. During the overall leakage. Watch the evidence for the fluid leakage. Class 3. Non-mission capable fluid. Not mission capable of class 3 fuel, oil level, hydraulic fuels are evident any coolant level leaks. Alright, 43. During instrumental panel, while the machine is fully warmed up, the monitoring EMS panel indicates the readings on the gauge. They're not mission capable if the gauge indicates abnormal readings. If the electrical motor EMS panel indicated flashing trouble system, and not mission capable engine oil pressure, air pressure, brake pressure, the EMS panel is indicator flashing. All right, 44. Engine idling. 44. After overall view. No, ensure the machine is clean in order to facilitate performance of the PM preventive maintenance. Check over the inspection. Check on the machine, the evidence for the fluid leakage, for the oil coolant with fuel and hydraulic levels. Not much capable of class 3 fuel oil level, the hydraulic levels are evident in any of the coolant is evident. Check on the machine, obvious damage that would impair the operation. The damage, not much capable of the damage would impair the operation evident. At 45, after engine idling, heat controls if equipped. Check the heater for damage, verify the correct operation. Not much capable of damage does not operate with the required mission. 46. After the transmission differential oil level, the engine is an oil idle. Check the transmission oil level to maintain the operating range for the dipstick engine oil level to add oil to items 10, 11, and 12, and 14. And throughout the filling, open and reinstall the filler. Do not overflow the cap. This shows the transmission differential filler cap, the transmission differential fills dipstick. 47. After one tenth of an hour, the engine oil level check to ensure the accurate reading of the machine may be parked at level of the grade. Allow the machine to idle 10 minutes. Clean the area around the engine dipstick and the engine fills cap. With the engine low idle, remove the dipstick. Clean with the reinstall. Remove the dipstick. Check with the level of the oil. The engine idle slide on the side of the dipstick. The level should be between the add oil 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Items as required through the filler opening. Reinstall the filler cap. Close the engine compartment access door. Shut down the engine. Work package 000500. This shows the engine filler cap, the engine oil dipstick. Your left side and the rear after intervals after left and front wheel tire. Warning: improperly inflated tires can excessively heating the building as a result of the blowout. Failure to fly with this warning may cause the injury to the personal damage of the equipment. Visually check the left front for the tire for the cuts with the little balls for the tread of the sidewalls, air of the check with the uneven wear under inflation. Check with the local leakage for foreign material embedded with the tread with the sidewall air. Remove the foreign material is found. Thursday the cut and bolts in the tread side air where the other damage would impair the operation. Check the loose and the missing nuts for the valve and the step. Not much capable of missing the 2 or more lug nuts of the damaged valve stem. After. Interval after the left side rear steering. Check the steering linkage of the crack distortion of the damage and not mission capable of the crack of distortion steering linkage of the impair the operation. B, check with the front steering of the cylinder with the hose of damage leak. The last 3 leakages for the damage will impair the operation. Check after interval after item left side rear drawbar. Check with the drawbar and drawbar pivot point with the damage. Class 3 leakages with damage would impair the operation. Check all the hoses and fittings for the leaks. 51 after the interval scafer. Check the scafer of the frame and link of the rod teeth with the excessive wear of the damaged missing components. Not much capable of the damage would impair the operation missing with the 6 scafe of the teeth that is required to mix mission. After interval after hydraulic cylinders, check the scafer hydraulic cylinder hose and the damage with leaks. Class 3 leakage and check the lift cylinder with the hose and the damaged leaks. Check the center shift of the legs with the damaged leaks. Class 3 leakage with the damage would impair the operation. After item 53 after Interval after circle drive. Check all the circle drive components of the damage and debris. Remove the debris. Check not mission for the damage. Circle the drive that would impair the operation. Check the circle drive for the damage or leaks. Check the last 3 leaks or damage would impair the operation. Alright, 54. After the blade side bearing. Check the blade side bushing of the belt end with excessive wear with the gap between the blade bracket of the blade should be greater than 1/8 of an inch. Not mission capable of blade side bushing with excessive wear. There should be more than 1/8 of an inch gap. After the blade cutting edge of the check of the blade for damage for the distortion. Not mission capable of damage or distortion. Check for the cutting edge for the damage of loose bolts. Not mission capable of damage or loose bolts. Check for the cutting edge for the excessive wear. Not mission capable of cutting edge is warm within 3/4 inch of the blade. Check for the side shift of the cylinder within the debris and leakage with the debris. Class 3 leakage damage will impair the operation. 56. After the interval blade work with the lights. Ensure the blade working lights are present and circularly mounted. 57. After interval after left door for the equip. If the left door is equipped with damage for mission components, mission the damage components necessary of the mission capable. After the left mirror and the step of the is equipped with the left side mirror, the step of the damage missing components, not mission capable of missing the damage components that is necessary for the mission. 59. Item 59. Interval after the rollover protection structure ROPS. Check for the ROPS damage for the missing mounting bolts. The non-mission capable of the loose or missing ROPS bolts are damaged or structured. And 60, item 60, left side hitch area. Warning: the hitch and steering movement can be reduced suddenly, clearance suddenly with the cause injury. Personnel allowed to stop the engine before the working the area. The hitch length. Check the casting and the stops for damages. Damage of the wood impair the operation of the head. Visually check the obstruction before moving the components for the hitch. Remove the obstruction for the damage. Not much capable of the damage would impair the operation as evident. Alright, 61. Item 61. Your intervals after you have the left rear, wheel and wheels and tires. Warning: improper inflate with the tires can cause successfully heat buildup with the result when the blowouts follow the warning may cause the injury to personnel with the damage of the equipment. Visually check the left front with the tire for the cuts and bulges of the tread with the side wear of the area. Check the uneven wear with the underinflation. Lower the foreign material embedded with the tread with the sidewall and then remove the foreign material in the found. The non-mesh capable of the tire has cuts, bulges, and tread with the side wear area with the other damage that would impair the operation. Also, B. Check for the loosening, missing load of the nuts and valve stems. Not mission capable of missing 2 or more lug nuts have the damage of the valve stem. The valve stem, the rim lock, and the lug nuts. Alright, item 62. After remote control connectors, if equipped, the procedure check for the leak for the missing cap of the connectors and install the cap if necessary. Not mission capable if the class leaks are at 3 or level 3 or evident. Show the remote connection control components and connectors if equipped. 63. If equipped, left tandem housing. Check for the damage for the leak for the tandem housing. Class 3 oil leaks damage if the evident. Not mission capable. And 64. After left side engine compartment, on the left side engine for the compartment access door, check the engine compartment for the evidence for fluid leakage as is oil coolant level. Not much capable of class fluid the oil leaks are evident. Any coolant load is evident. Alright, check the engine compartment for the any with the following condition. Notify the unit maintenance as it is needed. Loose damaged coolant, hose of the damaged electrical harness, the damaged cooling fan, of the clogged hair, damage that would impair the operation is evident. Not much capable. 64. Continue. Locate the battery cables that are routed with the engine compartment. The battery compartment. Check with the following: loose, broken, split with the tray with battery damage with the missing battery cable grommets. Cables are loose or damaged. Is not mission capable. After interval engine air cleaning primary element. NBC and poisonous radioactivity. NBC exposure. Inspect with the personal wear protective equipment. Handle with the area clear area. Consult with an NBCO and NBCO appropriate handle with disclosure. The clean NBC filters may be handled with adequate precaution. Must be disposed with the trained mission personnel. Clean engine air cleaner with a debris with a visual cleaner. Inspect the primary element clean if necessary. Alright, after. 66. After interval after. The fuel tank filler tube within fuel tank. The warning: do not smoke with ferment any of the open fuel with the machine with the surfacing fuel sieve. Be sure with the hose and nozzle ground against the fuel filler. Then the refueling, preventing a static electric failure to follow. The warning may cause the injury to personnel and equipment damage. Operating personnel must wear the fuel resistant glove with the handle fuel with the exposed with the fuel properly washed, exposed with the skin chain with the fuel soaked clothing. Check for damage to fuel leaks for the fuel drain and drain valve. Then, if not mission capable, if the class 3 leak fluid are evident. Continued. Place the portable fire extinguisher with the breech for the refueling. Do not reel for fuel with the fuel tank with the fuel starts with the fuel. The tank should stop immediately to avoid fuel spillage. Check fuel tank tube with the cap with the damage with leaks. Class 3 leaks lead non-communicable. Remove the fuel tank filler cable. Inspect the cap gasket. The fuel cap gasket miscreant damage non-communicable. Items 5, 6, 7 and to the tank. Do not overfill reeds. Install the fuel cap. Secure. As item 67, interval after radiator. Warning, do not serve the cooling system until after the engine has been allowed to cool down. The specialized cooling system will escape the system with hot cooling secure cover the surface debris. Do not remove the cooling system radiator with the cap of the engine, but it is to allow the engine to cool down. Loosen the cap at the first stop of leaving any of the pressure out of the cooling system. Remove the cap. The failure to follow this warning may cause serious burns. Wear effectively the eye glove and the skin protection when handling the coolant. Failure to do so may cause injury to personnel. If there's accumulation of the debris of the hydraulic oil of the cooler or the radiator, engine grill must be removed to allow the throttle thorough cleaning. Notify the unit maintenance. 67. Continue to check the radiator for debris. Remove the debris if the debris cannot be removed. The unit maintenance. Visually check the radiator for the sign on leakage. Not mission capable of damage would impair the operation as evident. Alright, your air system tank. They check the air tank line for the valve under the rear engine compartment. The fuel core leaks and damage the missing. Any leakage of damage would repair the operation of the evident. Warning. For suitable eye protection, keep the face away, eyes away from the exhaust tank of the drain valve. The failure to do so may cause injury to personnel. B. Open both the drain valves, each of the end of the air tank drain almost all the moisture and sediment. Check the oil of the drain valve. The oil is noted in the unit maintenance. Check oil of the drain valve when all air and moisture has been vented. Alright, 69 after. Right side in front, right rear wheels in front. Visually check the tire and the cup of the bulge of the tire strap with the side wear to check the uneven wear with the inflating. Locate the foreign material unbitted. Shred sidewall area with the remove the foreign materials. Not mission over the tires have been cut. Bolts of the side wheels are rare. Area other impaired operations. Check the loosening, missing valve of the stem. Missing of the damaged bolt, missing of the two more lug nuts is not mission capable. 70. After right tandem housing, check the damage of leakage for the right side of the tandem housing. Class 3 leaks or oil damage is evident, not mission capable. 71. After air dryer equipped, check the air dryer for the damage sign for the leakage. If the damage of the wood impair the operation is evident, not mission capable. 72. The drain fuel after drain fuel water separator with the equip. Notify the unit maintenance if the fuel does not turn clear. When the fuel water separator valve is behind the right engine of the access door, drain fuel is removed the container to remove the water and inform into objects. 73. Air filter. Air filter service indicator. They check the air cleaner with an indicator for the red range. The red band is showing not mission capable. Ensure the air filter service indicator showing green or yellow is not damaged. If the service air cleaner is red, band is showing the work package 01400. Air filter service indicator fuel water separator indicator. Alright, after the muffler, check the muffler, damage or missing components. No mission capable damage would impair the operation. 75. After right side hitch. A hitch steering movement that could reduce the silent clearance suddenly cause injuries from personnel and allow the stopping engine before the working of the air and the hitch link. Check the casting of the top of the damage area. Damage of the wood impair the operation. Individually check for the obstruction between the moving of the components of the hitch and remove the obstruction for the check of the damage. The damage that would impair the operation is non-mission capable, making it non-mission capable. 76. After rollover protective structure. The check of the rollover protective structure for the damaged loose or missing bolt check. Not mission capable of one loose or missing rollover protective structure bolts or damage to the structure. Alright, 74. Right door of the equip. Check for the right door for the damage missing in the component. Missing for the damaged component. The necessary for the mission. The mission capable. Right mirror step if equipped. Check for the right side mirror step with the damaged missing component. 79. After the right blade works lights. Ensure the blade work lights are present and securely mounted. 80. After blade slide bushings. Check the blade side bushing on both ends of the accessory wear. The gap between the blade bracket and the blade should be 1/8 inch or larger. Not mission capable blade side bushing has accessory wear. Alright, item 81, after interval, blade and cutting edges. Check the blade for damage of the distortion. The damage is distortion, not mission capable. Check the loose cutting edge for the damage of the missing bolts. Damage or missing loose bolts, not mission capable. Check the cutting edge for the excessive wear. Cutting edge is worn within 3/4 of an inch of the blade, is not mission capable. Check side shaft of the cylinder with the debris and damage leaks with the removal of the debris. They check class 3 leaks makes it non mission capable. Alright, 82. After cutting edge of the end bit. No, if the blade cutting edge of the bits are worn, damage to notify the unit maintenance to obtain the appropriate measuring device for the unit maintenance measuring cutting edge wear. Inspect the cutting edge for the excessive wear, cracks, breaks, loose, missing mounting hardware, not mission capable. The cutting edge is worn within 3/4 inch of blade. Damage 2 or more mounting bolts missing. Inspect both of the bits for the blade with the cracks, breaks, and loosening, missing mounting hardware, excessive wear. Not mission capable. The end bits worn drawn. The blade damage, loosening mounting hardware, and saw evident. All right, item 83 after interval hydraulic cylinders. Check the right lift cylinder of the damaged leaks. The class just check the center shift cylinder for the damaged leaks. Check the side shaft shift cylinder over the damaged leaks. These are class 3 leaks or non-mission capable. Item 84 after and circle drive. Check all the circle drive components for the damaged debris. Remove the debris. Damage of the circle driving them would impair the operation non-mission capable. Check the circle drive for the damage or leaks. Check 3 leaks will make it non-mission capable. 85. The item interval after item scafer. The check scafer frame linkage drive with the teeth with excessive wear damage missing components. Non-mission capable damage would impair the operation of the mission capable. 6 scafer teeth if required for the mission. Item 86 interval after drawbar. Check the drawbar, pivot the point of the damage. Check all the hoses and the fittings for the leaks. Non-mission capable to check the leaks for the damage that would impair the operation. Alright, item 87, the steering. The check of the steering link for the cracks and distortion damage to the cracks or distortion of the steering linkage that would impair the operation non-mission capable. Check the right front steering cylinder for the hose and the damage for leaks. Check 13 class 3 leaks non-mission capable. Alright, item 83, 88, after, item check, right front wheel services. Visually check the right front tire, with the tire cuts and bolts of the side wheel. Check the even the under inflation foreign materials imposed with the treaded with the sidewalls running the foreign material if found. Non-mission capable tire cuts with bolts and tread with the sidewall, air damage that would impair the operation. Check the loose and missing lug nuts for the valve stem with the cap, the damage of the valve stem and the missing 2 lug nuts. Alright, moving on. Item 89, weekly. Every 2/10 of an hour, front end of the grease points. Apply GA grease into the lean bar bearing. Apply GA grease to the 4-wheel leaning bar for grease fittings. Apply GA grease to the 4 kingpin bearing for grease fittings. Apply GA grease to the axle oscillation bearing fittings. It shows from the left. They show the lean bearing fitting 1, wheel lean bearing fitting 2, kingpin bearing fitting 2, oscillation bearing GAA fitting, kingpin bearings GAA, and wheel leaning bearings and lean bar fittings 1. Alright, now item 90, weekly, every 2/10 of an hour, wheel lean cylinder. Apply GA grease to the cylinder pivot the bearing grease fittings, GA grease to the cylinder lean bearing grease fittings. Cylinder pivot the bearing GA and cylinder lean bearing. Alright, interval weekly, man hours, 2/10 of the man hours, shift the scare from the drawbar, GA grease the upper right head, right lower scalp the grease fitting, GA grease the upper lip, lower scalp for leaf grease fitting, GA grease the drawbar socket, the grease fitting, GA grease to the axle oscillating bearing grease fitting. Show the upper scaffold sleeve with the GAA, drawbar socket of the GAA, and the oscillating axle oscillation bearing GAA, lower scaffold sleeve. Alright, weekly, every 2/10 of an hour, man hours, articulation pivot GA, grease the upper articulation pivot the grease fitting, and the GA grease the lower articulation pivot the greeting. Our lower articulation pivot the greeting, the upper articulation pivot. 91, weekly, interval, left battery compartment. To avoid injury to eye protection, acid resistant groove must be working with around the batteries. Do not smoke with use the open flame, make sparks the create the other ignition source around the batteries. If the battery is giving off the gas, it can explode and cause injury. To remove all the jewelry and such rings, ID tech ratchets and brackets if the jewelry to contact with the battery terminal, the direct short result of the instant heating the damage, the equipment injury to the personnel. Sulfuric acid contained with the batteries can serve the burns with the battery corrosion. Electrolyte can contain skin, eyes, and clothing. Take immediate action to stop the corrosive burning effect. Failure to follow these procedures could cause death, injury, serious injury to personnel. Do not use compressor to clean batteries. Do not use clean and dry rag. To reduce the battery damage, check the battery compartment for the corrosion. Generate greenish white powder. Do not jerk or pull the battery cable during visual inspection. Remove the other over the cover of the component. Check the holding and looseness for the damage. If the holding not miscapable, the holding loose or damage. Inspect the battery for the cracked gate for the evidence for leakage. Not miscapable, the battery crack is case of leakage. Or if the machine is equipped with the original equipment, the maintenance of 3 batteries will not fill with the cap. Check the fill before the damage is missing. The battery filler caps, miscapable damage, missing filler caps are noted. Check for the missing of the break and split for 8 battery cables. Not miscapable damage is noted. Check the damage of the battery post and damage is noted. Not miscapable. Installing battery compartment or cover. Check the rust corrosion cleaners. Check the battery cable grommets of the dry rot with loosening the bush missing condition. The conditions exist for the contact of the unit made for the new grommets installed. Item 94, weekly, location, left tandem oil level. The left tandem oil housing level to both sides of the dipstick of the filling cap. Move the level between the add and fill marks on the dipstick. Alright, tandem housing filler cap on the oil dipstick. All right, 95 item weekly. Engine either cold, ether cold start. Warning: ether fuel is extremely flammable and toxic. Do not smoke. Make sure that the well ventilated area is away from the hot open. Sparks when wear eye protection. Avoid containing contact with the skin and eye. Avoid breathing in either fluids entering the fumes irritating skin and eyes immediately within large quantity of the clean water. 15 minutes. Seek medical attention immediately. Either inhale the cause of the irritation. Failure to follow the warnings may cause injury to death of personnel. All right, remove the two bolts. Open right with the rear engine crossover the crew. Check the loose connection for the damaged line. Fitting for the either the cylinder and each for the cylinder securely mounted. The alert with the leakage either. Not mission capable of damage. Evidence of leakage doing that in either cylinder if required. Mission in either mission. Check and install the protective cap on the fitting of either cylinders and not installed to close the right rear engine access. Install the two bolts. Either bottle protective cap with installation and interval item number 96 weekly interval exhaust system weekly. Check the exhaust system pipes and clamps, mufflers, loosen and leakage for damage. Non-emission with damage leakage are noted. Item 97 weekly right battery compartment. Warning: to avoid eye protection, the acid resistant gloves be worn with working around batteries. Do not use smoke. Open flames make sparks with create with other conditions against the battery. If the battery is gagged and off, it explode. The case for the jury. Remove all the jewelry, such as the ID tags, watches, the battery, jewelry, takes on the battery terminal direct short, which result in instant heating damage to the equipment, injury to personnel. Sulfuric acid contains batteries that can be serious burns. Battery corrosion electrolyte makes the contact sear in the eyes, clothing, and to make it action to stop the corrosive burning effect. The failure to follow these procedures may cause death and serious injury to personnel. Do not use compressed air to clean batteries. Use a clean dry rag to reduce battery damage. Check the battery compartment and for the corrosion greenish white powder. Do not jerk a power with the battery cable during the visual inspection. Alright, move the cover to the battery compartment. Check the hold down, loosen it with the damage. Not make sure the hold down, loosen the damage. Inspect your battery, check the craft and the evidence for the leak. But not make sure the battery cast for cracked or evidence of the leak. No, the machine is equipped with the original equipment. The manual with the free battery for the batteries will have no filler caps. Check for the damage for the missing filler cap. The damage, not missing cable for the damage. Missing filler caps are noted. Check for the missing broken. The split with the free cable. The damage is noted. Not missing cable. Check for the damage battery poke. Not missing cable to install the battery compartment cover. Check for the rust for corrosion. Cleanliness, the battery cable grommets dry, loosen, and missing with the condition of the exist for the unit manufacturer for the new grommets installed. Item 98 weekly interval right tandem oil level to clear the right tandem oil housing oil level to both sides of the dipstick with the filler cap to maintain the level between the add and fill marks on the dipstick. Weekly ROSP. Check for the ROP is for loose, damage, and missing mounting hardware. Notify the unit manufacturer torque the replacement of mounting hardware. Non-mission capable loose, damage, missing mounting hardware is noted. Check the ROSP sign with the crack of the base metal with welding areas. Any sign of the damaged cracked weld base where cracked welds are noted. Non-mission capable. Alright, item 100, weekly. Air system pressure check. Perform the following testing air pressure test. Drop the not mission capable air pressure with greater than 5 psi to a minimum in 10 minutes. Show the engine allow the air pressure to reach 110 to plus or minus 10 psi. Apply then hold strip of the brake for the pedal and then shut down the engine. Reading on the air pressure gauge should not be dropped more than 5 psi up the engine and stop for 10 minutes. 101 weekly wheels and tires. Check for the loose and missing lug nut valve stems. Collapse of the unit main if the lug nuts are loose. No mission for the missing of 2 more lug nuts having the damage of the valve stem. Warning: operating a machine under inflated defective tire may lead to the tire failure, loose with traction control damage, and equipment injury to personnel. But may result in the tire pressure of 0 psi. Inflate. Notify the unit main if the failure to follow the warning can make up the injury to death. And the machine is so that the valve stem is in 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock position. Or clean the area around the valve stem and then remove the valve stem cap. To check the gauge air pressure in each of the tire pressure for the inflation should be 35 psi. Warning: self-inflating chuck standing at the tread side of the tire. Maximum distance allowable to the inflation hose. Failure to do so could result in the injury to death of personnel. Adjust the air pressure to the tire approximately 35 psi. Use the pneumatic tire inflation hose assembly. Install valve stem cap. Item 102 monthly every 2/10 for the man hour. Blades lifts and cylinder. Blades lifts and center shift cylinders. A. Grease the blade lift cylinder. The grease fitting is GA. Grease cylinder center shift cylinders. CA center shift GA blade lift cylinders. Any remote lubrication lines damaged, notify the unit maintenance of these lines must be filled with grease. Item 103 monthly, 2/10 of an hour, radiator fan bearing, the GA grease of the fan bearing, greasing fittings. Item 104 monthly, dry belts. Remove the two bolts for the open left of the rear end of the compartment access to check the belts for the 1/4 inch 1/2 inch deflection from the midpoint longest end. If the dry belt has more than 1/2 inch deflection, not mission capable. Check the mission defrayed with the cracked belt. The dry belt is missing or damaged, not mission capable. Check the loose damaged dry belt pulley. The not mission capable pulley is loose or damaged. Check the loop of the rear of the engine compartment access door and the install of the two bolts. To show the pad on follow the handle of the alternator pulley, the transmission, and the minimum of 1/2 inch maximum clearance. All right, item 105 monthly. All system machine exercise the cuffs and do not perform the preventive maintenance exercise with the temperature below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not exercise the machine if it has been operated within the past month. Perform the preventive maintenance before operation. Preventive maintenance start when engine warm up while the machine is warming up. The walk around inspection check for the engine evidence of the leaks. Class 3 oil leaks, hydraulic leaks, or evident any fuel and cool oil leaks is equipped. Note, the temperature is below 32 degrees. Operator controls spill prior to the machine. When the machine is warmed up, begin with the operate all controls. Transmission L in range for the including the reverse differential lock engage, disengage, mark, and servo the brakes applied and release. Steering from the full left to the full right. All hydraulic control blades, scaffold articulation with wheel lean circuits. 6 center shift guide pin. Operate the controls for another 5 minutes. Move the machine. Operate all the controls through the full motion. Bring all the system to the operating temperature. Move the machine control, the operator control for the full motion for 30 minutes after the machine system has been reached the operating temperature. Stop machine. I'll allow the idle for the 5 minutes. Shut down the engine. Perform after preventive maintenance check surfaces. Item 106 monthly service brake test. Before warning. Be alert. The personnel are area while operating with the machine. Always check to ensure the clear of the personnel object before starting. Engine move the machine, lowering the raising blade. Failure to follow the warning is may cause the injury, the death, and personal damage to the equipment. Perform the following test with the service brake test. Ensure all the air around the machine is all personal obstacles. Test brake with a hard as tire pack. Drove the seatbelt before testing the brakes. Start with a warm engine. Ensure the air system is operating at 110 to plus or minus 10 psi. Raise the blade and scaffold. Operate the machine for the third gear for the full throttle. Apply the servo brake in the air of the engine. Install the servo brake is unsatisfactory. Non-mission grip of the wheel does not scan and notify the unit maintenance. 107 the monthly parking brake test. Be alerted to personnel in the area while air operating with the machine. Always check for the ensure the area is clear of the personnel obstruct the brake before the engine starting the engine. Move the machine, lowering the racing blade. Failure to follow the warning may cause injury to the personnel damage of the equipment. Ensure the area around the machine is clear with all personnel obstacles. Test brakes on the hard pack dirt. Fasten the seatbelt before testing the brakes. Start with the warm up engine. Air systems is testing pressure at 110 psi plus or minus 10 psi. Raise the blade scaffold the operating machine with the 10-second gear with the throttle with the gear press. The transmission modulator shift transmission neutral. Part of the parking wheel non-mission capable when the wheels do not skid. Notify the unit mates. Monthly sectionalization equipment is equipped. Check the sectionalization equipment in the following steps. The non-mission capable binding damaged components are required in the mission. Remove the two mounting bolts from the control box. Removing assistance with the piston control of the box. Mounting brake the next to the left of the battery box. Check all the cables of hose for the damage and debris. Remove the debris. Notify the unit maintenance. Make sure all the electrical connectors and all hose ends and caps have been installed. Remove the two bolts from the control control box cover. Remove the cover. Check the control of the damaged debris. Remove the debris. Notify the unit maintenance. To lubricate the pull cables with the dry lubricant and stand retract all the push level with the cable, the control, check out the binding damage, and notify the unit mates if there's damage to the control to move freely. Install the control box cover tighten the two covers mounting bolts, install the counter control box frame with the machine, installing the two mounting bolts. This shows the controlling mounting bolts, the control box cover, the controlling cover, the mounting bolts, the control box, the push-pull control cables. And this is the engine air pre-cleaner, service assembling, servicing. Alright, this is the end of the work package. I'm going to cut it, and we're going to do work package 14 in a minute.